Caribbean insight really is dynamite. Caribbean insight really super was spite. Caribbean insight enjoy day or night. Caribbean insight really is dynamite.
This is the movement of our people, our history, and our culture to the world.
This singer, over the years, we know him as the people's Calypsonian. The man who gave us life as a stage, Stay Up Zimbabwe, and so many others. If I name the rest of the songs, we might leave here without hearing the rest of singers. And the singer, let's welcome Emrold Phillip, Brother Valentino.
But you know, I was the first Rastafari to stand up on a stage and sing in Trinidad and Tobago. The days when the Rastafari was still taboo. Look at the color of my dress. I represent the Rastafari from day one. Never compromise, never turn back, and I always keep my foot on the ground.
Came here on a carnival Monday. Left Grenada shores. Just in time for Julia, where I went to live in Bellevue. That's up long circular road. There was a band assembling right at the gate to come out on the parade. Since Juve morning, I came to Trinidad. So on my way home, I was greeted by a steel band named Cairo from down St. James. The boys just assembling to come on the road. Well, when I started singing Kaiso, I must admit from a very long time, because my mother and father, they were serious Calypso addicts.
This little song here is one of the songs that really influenced me and made me start singing Calypso. It's a song entitled Louise. And my mom name is Louise. And my old man bought this record for her birthday.
Louise. Because in my time, Calypso music was the music. I'm 75 years old. Picture me around 13, 14, 10, around that age. You know what I mean? And the only music we really used to have to distort our Kaiso music in them times was the merengue from down Venezuela. Yeah, other than that, you hear a Sarah Vaughan or Billy Eckstine, one of these American ballads and things, but the Kaiso music was the music. You go to a Christian, a wedding, a party, anything, it's Kaiso music. Regardless of what the Kaiso, once it's a Kaiso, you're dancing and you're having a good time. So when I had decided to sing Calypso, I couldn't make it. Because he never wanted me to be a Calypso. He had no bigger aspirations for me. Right. Just on a Calypsonian. Yeah. But unfortunately, he died. And my secondary school and stuff from there. And then I decided, well, look, you know what happened now? I love Kaiso, and I think I'm going to put my energies into it. And from since I really started, before I started to think about this stage, I used to be singing Calypso. Let me tell you this, I'm going to be changed about 5 different trades. I'm mechanic, electrician, tailor. In the tailor shop, that really make me make up my mind. When the last trade, printing and all. Some of them printing, car make. I ended up in a tailor shop about a year. But you know, tailors is some kind of lazy people because a tailor always have a radio playing, and he always. And a year I listen to Kaiso and listen, and I say, boy, you see me? I really feel that I really want to make Kaiso. And the first Kaiso I made was a Calypsonian Woman and Money. When a poor man see a woman and he like she bad, he got to lie like if he mad and tell she he got cars, house and property. But if he only play honest and tell she the truth, he can conquer that old brute. Not he, cause he broke and ain't got no money. Money alive, money a grave, money go send them to the grave, but not me. They can't spend my money. Chest jumping, behind bumping, they walking in saga thing just because they want to spend my dollars.
They could be pretty like the moon, they could be pretty like the sun. If I have $1 million, I still ain't give them not me.
They can't spend my money.
Oh, they didn't believe I composed that song. 1961, the Mighty Conqueror recorded and made a big hit with it. Generations and generations, and it's still life today. A woman tell me the other day, she don't care what nobody say, but if a man ugly and he have money, he could get shit. That is to show you don't have to be good looking. Once you got the cash, you're king. Don't mind how you're looking funny, or your face might be ugly. Money they love,
Money they love, money go send them to the grave, but not me. They can't spend my money. Just jumping behind, bumping. They walking in saga thing just because they want to spend my dollars.
They could be pretty like the moon, they could be pretty like the sun. If I have $1 million, I still ain't give them
Not me.
Tell them
They can't spend my money.
So when you see an ugly woman with a pretty man, so when you see a pretty woman with an ugly man, it's hard to understand that he have the things to make she happy. She don't care what she friends and them say about she. Once she get in the currency, the man could be ugly like sin, but the money is damn good looking.
Money you love, money you crave. Money go send them to the grave, but not me. They can't spend my money. Just jumping behind, bumping. They walking in saga thing just because they want to spend my dollars.
They could be pretty like the moon, they could be pretty like the sun. If I have $1 million, I still ain't give them
Not me. They can't spend my money.
If a man like Fernandez or Satka only make a little joke with a lady, she'll appear to be very friendly, cause she know them guys got money. And if they ask she a certain question, I am sure she'll have no objection. If they spread some joy for 2 hours, his address and $1,000. You see,
Money you love, money you crave. Money go send them to the grave, but not me. They can't spend my money. Just jumping behind, bumping. They walking in saga thing just because they want to spend my dollars.
They could be pretty like the moon, they could be pretty like the sun. If I have $1 million, I still ain't give them none.
Not me. They can't spend my money.
That's professionally, I would say, but prior to 1966, like in 60-61, I was around the big bamboo tent with guys like Skipper, inventor, creator, conqueror, you know, trying to learn and trying to observe and trying to get into the act. But it wasn't until 1966 professionally that I sang in a big tent, so to speak, then. The Calypso Caravan, it was then. The first Calypso I ever sang on that stage was a Calypso entitled Juvenile Delinquency. Here comes the delinquent, the parent has bring the government. They say the government has encouraged crime all the time. But what that ignorant parent don't know is they just have their youngsters so. So I want all of them to hear is the clothes they just give the children to wear. Because when the girls in town get a chance and they put on their hipster pants, in those days of hipsters, you know. Yes. Well, the fellas in the city is them who gone crazy. Because the hipster pants has exposed their body. And just imagine what the fellas they see. So you see what has caused juvenile delinquency.
Okay, it brings back a lot of memories for me.
That was my first Calypso that sang. As a matter of fact, it was in Queen's Hall. We observed that Blakey and Sparrow was not on good terms. So Blakey had always intended to form a coup. And he was liaising with some of the guys from Kitchener tent. Because you wouldn't get the whole of Sparrow tent to move with you. And you can't get the whole of Kitchener tent to move either. So the fraction from either side, that is what he made up and called it Victory 17, which was to date one of the most dynamite, at least the 1970. It was a nice ditty, and I realized then the force that this kind of suggestive songs had. And it was so influential that I made a promise. There was never to sing a smut again after that. And believe you me, that was the first and the last. Because when I realized too the effect that No Revolution had, let me tell you something. I could remember very clear that this particular night was a weekend and the Honorable Dr. Eric Williams, our first Prime Minister, was coming to the tent, was visiting the tent. Maybe it could have been a political campaign. Maybe he could have been paying his wrongs to the tent. But that night in particular, he was visiting our tent. And the night when I reached him, management called me and they said, well, look, the big man coming in here tonight, and I don't feel it's wise for you to sing that song because we don't know what effect it could have on our tent and what political effect then or feedback we could get from that. Seriously. Would you believe that turned into a big controversy? So then, first round, that's the time I really sing No Revolution. They made me sing Boat Control. Intermission, time, we met the doc, he came backstage, his daughter, his entourage. Ivan Williams was there with him, some of his other bodyguards and his other members of parliament, his compatriots. But like John Public wasn't too satisfied after the second half had begun because they came expecting to hear No Revolution. They talk about power. Doctor, it's you who have power. I know when you act, it would have been a horse of a different color. You give them an inch, they take a whole yard, and when you had them under you clinch. People say you're bad, but when I heard you address the nation, I knew what was your intention, but some of the powers you exercise, unfortunately, I must criticize. We didn't want them trigger happy police. We only wanted to demonstrate in peace. Yet my people was held and charged for sedition. We was marching for equality, black unity and black dignity. Dr. William, no, we didn't want no revolution. And that's why must have made me sing that other song first. And maybe the intention was very clear that I was to do one song that night. But then George Goddard was very sensitive about the whole issue. This is George Goddard, God bless his soul. You know, around that time he was the steel band boss. And he was a very influential figure as far as steel band is concerned. And in those days, the steel band, unlike the DJ now, carry the stadium. They dictate the pace. And you see steel band, you see Kitchener. And he made them to understand that if I don't sing that song, he will make the steel bands boycott Kitchener Jr. because he had that influence. And somewhere along the line, I don't know if he was bluffing. Sometimes, or if he may have had in the shots. Yes, I don't know if it was a bluff. But then, with that statement he made, it only made the issue get a little more, clearing, and in that other people started getting involved in it. And Ivan Williams telling them, look, let the man sing his song. And second half, at some point in the program, they put me on the signal song. And it's just like the crowd just didn't want me to stop singing it.
Life is a stage, and we are the actors, and everybody have a part to play. Like a never-ending movie, with all different characters, each one have a role to portray. Down to the scavengers and them barristers, all them doctors and lawyers and these ministers, to this honorable this and this honorable that, and this lady so and so. Surpass all them people playing, I want you to know. So don't blame the politician anytime you find you get bad administration. Oh no, that was meant to be. The fella is playing his role superbly. Now don't blame the judges for their injustice. Why blame the criminals like say it's a part? The Garden of Eden, the sun coaster was Adam and Eve. They played their part, now they are dead, but not forgotten. And when I study the rule of Adam, it makes me feel shows man should be able to take example. And see from the beginning, woman was trouble, but then your rule is according to your script, I say, and your fate would be judgment day. And according to the part that you play, the master will pay. Now down to the little children, from the time they born, they join life's great movie. But some of us fathers, my friend, choose some wicked women. Never saw our baby, although abortion is just an act. Believe me friends, I don't like that part at all. When the women go first, when the curtain falls. Say what you want, believe I'm not joking. The women are the greatest performance for me. Their role always important, and So then a man must want to kill because the party of the place is to love with his heart and soul. So you see where the females always have the better role. So don't blame Christine Taylor just because she wrecked the life of some politician. She played a sexy character and she fought FOMO with her sex reaction. So we should tip our hats to England and say hurrah for good old Christine, the greatest actress. Don't doubt that the world has seen. This place has some scenes that I go off on. The acting is greater than on Broadway. That is on the movie screen. You see people perform like Trinidadians are talking about and how they could play. Trinidad, as we all know, chief role is Kaiso. Then featuring playing pan, football and limbo. But for playing the part of smart man and smart woman, I could bet my hand. And for creating a big impression, it's a Trinidadian. Now the ambitious guy with the jacket and tie, who walks the road and hold up his head high. You would shock to know where that same ambitious fella headed to. But it's a part we come out to play, and we really can treat the fella with scorn. And as they say,
they might have observed my intentions very clearly, you know, and they could have tried to muzzle me then, so to speak, in that, but if you make these kind of songs and you continue to sing these kind of songs, you would not reach there then, or, you know, and I think life at that stage was very disappointing then, you know. And that after they set me up, you know, and I already make that song and say, oh, this year, this is the song for this is the stand, you know. Yeah. They say, no way, man. But I understood it.
Emrold Phillip.
And it's only happening where? On CITV.
This is the Conky. I am living in New York and I don't ever miss Caribbean Insight. I don't see why you should miss it.
This song was born in New York. It was made in New York. In 78, whilst I was out there was this protest and pamphlets all over the place. Free Mandela, Free Mandela. And then South Rhodesia was going through same problems with a guy named Ian Smith.
Ian Smith, right.
You know? And when you're in New York, you know, a man like me, I have no time to knock about, so I was a homeboy. So I always reading my pamphlets and everything. And I said, but this is a very serious situation here, man. You know, and people bringing pamphlets to me and I reading, and there's different things all the time that happening. And then American people protesting and protests all over the place. I said, well, look, I could add my 2 cents, you know. And the best way I could make a contribution is to try to see if I could write something in solidarity.
Right.
You know? And it's a solidarity state of mind, really, that make me write this thing, not expecting it to create the impact that it has created, you know? I took my time and I put it together. And when I came back to Trinidad, I went into Old Rodney, one of my favorite arrangers.
Right.
Yeah. And I gave it to him. And I had a little part, because most of the times when I do my music, I always have an input in it.
Right.
So I had a small input. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And really, the guy worked around that.
Okay.
The horn line and everything, the horns. And I asked him, I said, but how you come up with this horn line around that bass line, boy? And he said, Valley boy, that was desperation. Because we had us to go in the studio the next day to put on the track.
Right.
So he said, well, whole night he's trying to figure out something. He said, boy, that was desperation. But after all was said and done, it came out to be my biggest hit. I've been to Zimbabwe too.
We'll be on to Rhodesia, we'll be on to South Africa. You're pushing my back against the wall, I'm calling the tribes of Hannibal. I'm on his side to put on his boots, march to defend his troops. Say, calling them Zulu,
Oh yeah, yeah.
calling them Juju,
Oh yeah, yo.
shouting Ashanti,
Oh yeah, yeah.
calling what you see.
Oh yeah,
South
yo.
Africa and Rhodesia,
Oh yeah, yeah.
let go run like water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Prepare my brother
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the bloody river.
Oh yeah, yo.
Just remember, brother,
Oh yeah, yeah.
blood thicker than water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
This fight won't be so easy, but you got to get rid of the enemy. If you don't get rid of the enemy shall get rid of thee. My people, you see, we have no choice, so Africans hear my voice. Hey! Say, calling them Zulu.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Calling them Chuchu.
Oh yeah, yo.
Shouting Ashanti.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Calling what to see.
Oh yeah,
South
yo.
Africa and Rhodesia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let go run like water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Prepare my brother
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the bloody river.
Oh yeah, yo.
Just remember, brother,
Oh yeah, yeah.
blood thicker than water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
I hear they talk that America supporting white South Africa. But if we have to walk voodoo, my people shouting you. Some the drums and some of the witch doctors to deal with them weird characters. Hey, calling them Juju.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Calling them Zulu.
Oh yeah, yo.
Shouting Ashanti.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Calling what to see.
Oh yeah,
South
yo.
Africa and Rhodesia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let go run like water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Prepare my brother
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the bloody river.
Oh yeah, yo.
Just remember, brother,
Oh yeah, yeah.
blood thicker than water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stay up, Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
Homage to Steve Biko, the children who died in Soweto. To the freedom fighters I declare, Africans' affair is my affair. Ian Smith and Buster had to go, the revolution said so. Hey, calling them Zulu,
Oh yeah, yeah.
calling them Juju,
Oh yeah, yo.
shouting Ashanti,
Oh yeah, yeah.
calling what to see.
Oh,
in
yeah,
South
yo.
Africa and Rhodesia,
Oh yeah, yeah.
let go run like water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Prepare my brother,
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the bloody river.
Oh yeah, yo.
Just remember, brother,
Oh yeah, yeah.
blood thicker than water.
Oh yeah, yo.
Stay up Zimbabwe,
Oh yeah, yeah.
stay up Zimbabwe,
Oh yeah, yo.
stay up Zimbabwe,
Oh yeah, yeah.
stay up Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, yo.
I never went to no university to learn this thing. Nobody never said, hey, this is how they sing calypso and this is how to make a calypso. Or I never went to a class or study that. It was a God-given talent. And just as how the talent was God-given, I think that inspiration was a God-given one. Yet, I would have to pay respect to Shakespeare.
Hi, I'm Kenny Phillips, and you're tuned into Caribbean Insight, keeping the culture alive.
Remember to share, like, and subscribe to keep our culture alive.